Welcome to the session, children. After a long time, I feel we are starting with our classes. You had a long week preparing yourself, very busy with the exams, and most of you have really done well with your exam. And results will be very soon. We are going to announce. We will have PTM. The parents most probably will be talking individually so that each parent gets some time to know where the child is lacking and how to go about. So you need not bother about the marks or the results of your PA1. Welcome to the session. We have got, I think, so many days over. We were going on with the stories, book back exercises, and then question and answers. Then we even discussed poem and other poetic devices as well. I purposely stopped teaching grammar. There are two reasons, children. One, because I had a ray of hope that this COVID-19 will not prolong like this, and very soon, maybe by the month of August or so, you will be coming back to the school, and then I wanted you all to have a live session actually. But then now the situation is growing worse, and I think this year almost we must be learning through this mode only, online classes. So then why to delay? So let us start with the grammar, and I have brought to you the topic modal verbs. Why these pictures in front of you? Whenever we say, it is from out of my experience, I tell you, the children give two expressions whenever we talk about the grammar, and it is every time it is the same. One, they are so scared of the topics that are being taught in the classroom. The other, they feel so drowsy because grammar class, most children say it's boring. But then now, since the digital world, children also have become digital and teaching also is become digital, and then we will have many pictures in front of our eyes. It is going to have a feast, okay? And then you will be carefully watching, and I assure there you need not get frightened or scared about grammar. Okay, grammar is very easy when you learn, you understand, and try to make use of this in your day-to-day life. Then it becomes very easy and you will easily score marks in the grammar. And I don't find anybody losing marks in grammar, those students who are really working on the topics. Shall we proceed with the grammar? This is what out of my experience I have spoken, but at present, see the picture I have placed in front of you. Me fail in English? Never. But then you see the type of statement that the child has given. Me fail English? That's impossible. In itself, we can understand he is overconfident and then he is uttering a wrong vocabulary, the wrong word. Is it impossible? It's not impossible, it is impossible. Okay? So this is how we behave when it comes to languages, not only English. Whenever we talk about languages, okay, Tamil or English, you people are feeling you are very confident. You can somehow score the marks, but then it is not a matter of scoring mark. We learn languages for reasons. What are those reasons? Especially the CBSE students are able to crack most of the competitive exams just because of their language. Children, language plays a very important role in one's life. It is very important that you understand a question. You know the answer, but then when you understand the question, you will be able to choose the right option. Okay, and from that point of view, you will have to learn, make use of the right English. Now, why this flower plant in front of us? As usual, I want all of you open your note, write 5 sentences. Okay, open your note. Take your grammar note if you have the last year grammar note. We have already completed tenses, we have completed voices, we have completed reporting speech, we have completed, is it not, children? And we have done even spot the error, some of the exercises. So use the same note so that it is very handy for you when you want to prepare, and at a random you can have a glance over the note. Make sure you are not writing here and there so that you waste your time in searching for each topic at different times. Yeah, now you start writing 5 sentences looking at this picture. Whatever you feel. Picture writing you are very much used to. So just look at the picture, look at the screen and write 5 sentences on your own. If you need, you can just stop this and then you can go for recording this. Sorry, you can just go for writing. So, modals are auxiliary verbs. When we talk about auxiliary verbs, what comes to your mind? Yes, all the helping verbs come to your mind. What are those helping verbs? Suppose I ask you, the helping verbs in the present tense is, are, am. If it is in the past tense, was, were. If it is in the perfect tenses, have, has, had. And I know you are well trained to say these words, and I know all of you have got in your mind, at the topmost of your mind, and they are all at your fingertips. Then, what are these modals we are talking about? Modals are auxiliary verbs. Wherever you go, you just type for modals, they will say modals. Modal verbs they type, or modals are nothing but auxiliary verbs. Okay, so I have given you a hint here. What is that hint I have given you? Modals are little more than helping verbs. Okay, why that little more than the helping verbs? In the course of time you will come to know why they have got a bit different from your other auxiliary verbs. Now I have taken this particular slide. I was going through some of the slides, so I thought let me copy one slide for you. They copied it here. See the mistake that they have presented. Characteristics. The spelling, you see the characteristics. Okay. The main characteristics of the modal verbs. What are those modal? I have told you little more than a helping verb. So what is it that little more than a helping verb? An auxiliary verb is a special type. How is it special? They alter or complete the meaning of the main verb. Now when it comes to main verb, you should understand what is a verb. Action word is a verb. And what are the forms of different verbs? There are 3 forms, and I have introduced you the 4th form, that is V4, V1, V2, V3, V4, present, past, past participle, and then we go for present participle or gerund use say. Okay, children? So these are the verb forms. But what am I telling you? Because of this modal verbs, you have, see here, they alter or complete, give a complete meaning of this main verb. You don't worry, this is only an explanation. I'll give you in detailed examples so that you will understand very clearly. Next point, they express ideas such as capacity, possibility, obligation, permissions, prohibitions, request, probability, so many other things. What are modal verbs? I am going to teach you. And which are the modal verbs? Which verbs play what role? Individually it will be dealt. So you need not get frightened of these verbs. Whenever we are talking about modal verbs, if anyone says what are modal verbs, you should have a clear-cut idea. Modal verbs are helping verbs. Okay? Auxiliary verbs, in other words. But these auxiliary verbs have a little extra role to play than the auxiliary verbs that we have in tenses. Okay? Next point, they can also indicate the level of formality in the conversation. Now, what sort of a conversation? Is it a demanding one? Is it a requesting one? Is it a playing fool? Or the sort of mood of the conversation will be understood by one person because of the use of these models. Don't you think it is very important that we understand when teacher is talking to you, is she kind? You will understand from the words that we are using. If your friend is talking to you aggressively, you will immediately understand that person. From the expressions you will understand, but the words also will definitely help us to understand him from what point of view our person is talking about. Then you have important point. They do not take yes for the third person singular. This particular sentence, this particular word, this phrase or sentence will be dealt very clearly in the following videos. Okay. So, I have given you the list of modal verbs. Modal verbs are two types. One, auxiliary modals. Next one, semi-modals. Okay. So, under each you have certain verbs, modals. Under auxiliary verbs you have will, would, shall, should, just count. Okay. Can, could, may, might, must. How many modals are there? Altogether 9 modals are there. Very easy to remember, children. Will, would, shall, should, can, could, may, might, must. These are all called auxiliary modals. Then you have on the other side semi-modals. What are those semi-modals? Need, also called a modal, but they are called semi-modals. Dare also is there, because need you can use as a main verb and you will also be using it as a modal. That is why we are calling it as a semi-modal. Dare also, how dare you do this work? So daring, you have different forms of daring. Need, needed. Okay. So they act as main verbs at times and they will also act as a modals. Then you have used to and ought to. Nature of the modals. Number 1. Modals are never used alone. And I have given you an example. I have purposely used Vijay here. Some of you would like to have a Surya's name and some others will have somebody else's name. So whichever the name you want, you can just think in your mind. But then here for me, what is important, I am going to teach you modals are never used alone. Modals in this particular sentence, Vijay can well, okay, which is the modal, can is a modal. So this can is used here followed by a principal verb. Do you have a principal verb? Here in the first sentence, Vijay can well, there is no principal verb, and that is the reason it has no complete meaning. So this is a wrong sentence. Second sentence,